Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Unhinged. Cast and crew information down below. And let's start off with the IMDb plot as usual. After a confrontation with an unstable man at an intersection, a woman becomes the target of his rage. Alright, so some explaining to do. Why am I reviewing Unhinged? Um, let's see. We watched this the other night. We were looking for something to watch. Don't always watch all horror movies. Obviously that's my preference, but can't always watch horror movies all the time with my wife. So we have to find some other things to watch every once in a while, or with her. She's not gonna watch horror movies all the time. So um, looking for something else to watch, and we stumbled upon this and gave it a try. This is obviously a new movie. I believe it was one of the ones that actually made it to theaters. Don't know how many people ended up seeing this um, recently, but it's on Amazon, so that's where we watched it. Um, but yeah, it is not horror. It is listed on IMDb here as action and thriller. And if you've caught some of my other recent reviews, I've kind of gone back and forth between these movies being different things and different genres, and um, you know pulling them in, horror or not horror, should I be reviewing them or not reviewing. Everything is back and forth. Um, I'll just tell you on the onset, and turning this on and so forth, I would have never thought I'd be reviewing it. I would have never thought, you know, when this was first being released, I never even thought about watching it. I was like, yeah, okay, obviously Russell Crowe's a star here, but that doesn't necessarily mean I need to see it. In no way, in no form would I thought about reviewing it, or to mention it here anywhere. However, obviously I am, and obviously I'm here. So what is it about this movie that I have to write forward to you? Let's just say Russell Crowe is freaking out of his mind in this movie. Um, he's a bad man. He obviously has issues. He says he has issues. The world has not been kindly to him, and now he's had enough. And he's going to take it out on this woman who unfortunately stumbles in his path. Um, again, it's not a horror movie, and you would have thought that this movie's based on road rage. Would have had a lot of car chases and some crashes and so forth. But this dude actually is going to kill some people in this movie, and he's going to brutally kill some people in this movie. Uh, let's just say every time he does something, it's with a brutality to it. Something that we would love to see in a horror movie. And that is largely why I'm mentioning this movie here. Not, the death scenes aren't like, crazy, serial killer kind of thing, Jason, Michael, Freddy kind of thing. But dude is out of his mind, and dude is going to be brutal and fierce, and he doesn't care if other people are watching. And, I'll talk a little bit about how the story starts and whatever, but let's just say he ends up in a small diner with a guy for A, B, or C reasons. This dude is going to die. He is going to smash his face. He punches him in the face, smashes his face down on the table, and just be overall very brutal to him. And the guy is not going to make it. Another confrontation with a couple. I'll just try it. This is a new movie, and I know this is not horror, so maybe you guys don't care or whatever, but I'll still be as spoiler free as possible. Let's just say he ends up with a couple there. He has one of them. The other one wants to defend, and let's say the one he has in his hand is not, not gonna make it. And does an interesting little trick there. It's gonna brutalize the other person. Even when he has run-ins with the main woman that he's having a confrontation in this movie with, brutal. They have some brutal goes at it. Um, it doesn't matter that you're a woman. He's going to smack you, throw you, whatever it is. He's not going to hold back just because you're a woman. um, you can see the glee in my face because you know that I'm in these movies for the horror of it. I like the blood and guts and the murder scenes and whatever, and you know, just even my wife, she was, you know, I mentioned I watched this with her. I mean, she was taken aback by, like, you know, she thought we weren't gonna watch horror, but you know, this dude he's going at it. He's not a nice dude. Um, so you know, that's kind of my main reason, my main kind of thing, you know, of why I'm bringing this, why I'm reviewing this, why I'm mentioning this, because you guys are probably like, what the hell. Um, you know, hopefully when you saw Unhinged there, you're probably like, oh, he must have been unhinged to even do a review for this, because that's not horror. Um, but I say, you know, it's you know, it's coming ahead to almost the end here. It's worth watching for him just to go butt wild. Um, but kind of reversing, because I kind of jumped forward. I usually like to tell you a little bit about the story here before I get into this, but I couldn't help myself. And I had to get it all out of the way of why I'm doing this review. Anyway, jumping back to the story here. Basically, the movie opens. It opens on him. You see him in the car. He's kind of fiddling with some stuff. All of a sudden, gets out of the car, and you're just really going to set the stage here. He gets out of the car, goes up to this house. You really have no idea, you know, who these people are in this house or what is happening here. Knocks on the door. Person opens. The person's like, "Hey, you know, what the hell are you doing here?" And person is no longer. He's gonna beat the crap out of them real quickly. Then you're gonna hear him go in the house, do away with some other people that are in the house, light the house on fire, and leave. Walk out, get back in the car. The house. He's gonna drive away slowly. House is gonna explode. Kind of setting the stage here. Obviously, you know, you really are not totally certain, you know, what if there's a main reason why. I think there's mention of him maybe along the way, maybe something happened between him and his wife, but that kind of set him off. Obviously, you know, he mentions things not going well for him, and you know, people not, you know, having respect and so forth. So fresh off of that incident there, you're also introduced to a woman and her young son, and you know, she's trying to be a good mom, and you know, maybe you know, struggling at that a little bit with her son Kyle, and she's taking him to school. She's maybe running a little bit behind. Obviously, they've had issues with traffic getting to school. So, you know, she tries one way, her son's like, oh, but, you know, why'd you go this way, blah, blah. They eventually get off the expressway and come up behind this guy's car at a light. And unfortunately for her, when the light turns green, he doesn't go. And she proceeds to give him a good honking. And she honks and honks and he doesn't move. She goes around him, kind of glances his way, but then goes on, makes the left turn, but then not too far ahead ends up in traffic. Big mistake. Again, you know, word to the wise: if you're gonna honk at somebody, have some movement and from freedom, so that you can honk at them and get away. Not that you're gonna end up next to them for the next while, because bad things are happening. Bad things are gonna start right here. He pulls up beside her. He's more face to face where the son is sitting. The son is not sitting in the passenger seat next to her. He's in the seat behind the passenger seat. I'm not sure what's going on there that he had to sit there, but that's where he's sitting. And he makes a mistake of rolling down the window, and the guy, you know, saying, you know, it's nice and calm in the beginning, and then just says, you know, hey, you know, you kind of caught me. I kind of spaced out there. You know, I can apologize to that, but kind of hints to her is why didn't she just give him a tap horn, as opposed to, she holds it down for a good couple of seconds and she does it more than once. And as opposed to the mom being friendly with this situation, the mom kind of gets aggravated and is kind of giving it back to him and saying that no, he deserved the honk and so forth. And then the guy proceeds to say, basically that, he's having a hard time, and obviously, maybe she doesn't know what it is to have a hard time, but she's kind of like, yeah, I do, blah, 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 but he's not convinced. So he basically tells her, you're going to know what it is to have a bad day and a hard time. So now they're kind of, freaked out. Where they roll up the windows and try to drive away. She eventually drives him to school, drops the kid off, but then goes to a gas station and goes inside. And before she knows it, she looks outside when she's about to leave, and hey, he's parked behind her in the gas station. So the beginning of the madness is just starting. And the beginning of his craziness is just starting. And, you'll see a nice slice of humanity as there's a guy in the gas station that tries to help her out, but he's going to pay for it. He's going to pay for it. I'm laughing because, you say this is not horror, but he's going to pay for it. Fantastic scene here that unfolds. Just craziness. Definitely, once this happens, it's gonna grab obviously my attention, and had me going for the rest of this movie. So, again, I want to be spoiler free, even though I know it's not horror. You may or may not watch this. I don't know. I think by how happy you will apparently see me, hopefully you will watch this movie regardless, and just. Maybe you don't care about the storyline or whatever, but just watch it for what Russell Crowe does to everybody else he comes across in this movie. So yeah, I'm not gonna spoil what's gonna happen. You kind of get the gist of it now. He's basically gonna terrorize everybody she knows, and so forth along the way. You'll see how he does that. I don't want to give that away, but he's gonna terrorize her. As the movie goes on, you're gonna find out, how he's able to do certain things. You can find a little bit more about how he's unhinged, but not completely. Overall, the movie kind of reminded me of, if you guys saw it, is another movie that's not a horror movie, but Falling Down with Michael Douglas, where just the world seemed to be against him, and he's just fallen on bad luck, and thought the world should have been in the way he envisions it, but it's not, and he can't really deal with it, and basically starts taking it out on all these people around him, and obviously a police investigation kind of closes in on him as that movie goes on, because he starts doing bad things. So this while this one was kind of started at road rage, and Michael Douglas's movie kind of starts in a different way, and there's similar paths here, or similar. You see two men who are just not able to adapt to a changing world, and bad times that are on them, and basically have snapped and taking out on people around them. So that was kind of a similarity to me. If you want something, if you've seen that movie, and that you can relate this movie to. I definitely suffer from road rage, and now will definitely consider maybe not honking at as many people as I usually do. But yeah, I do suffer from road rage, but have never done anything that Russell Crowe has done in this movie. Yeah. So with that said, I'm just going to leave it at 3.5 pools of blood. Obviously, a lot having to do with Russell Crowe and what he does to everybody else in this movie. Everything else is just whatever. Like I said, it's not a bad story setup. The acting is fine, and so forth. But just what you would call the horror element in this, even though this isn't horror, is what I enjoyed, and why I'm giving it 3.5 pools of blood, and that is out of 5. So with that said, horrorscorereviews.blogspot.com is where you can find more reviews, written reviews as well. But if you're just interested in the video reviews, you can just subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the support, blog, or here on the channel, or both, whichever way. you're checking out the reviews, and definitely if you're doing both, thank you very much. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. If you want me to review something, you can reach out to me there. If you want to talk about this movie, maybe you actually caught it, or if you want to complain to me why I'm reviewing it, you can do that as well. In the comments section, if you've seen the movie, you want to comment there, or complain to me there as well. I mean, either way, it's fine. I can take it. Yeah, that'll be it. I will try to keep the road rage to a minimum now, and I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.